Justice is indivisible. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
If any words that I have spoken have commanded attention, that is only because they find an echo in the breasts of those of every land and of every race who love freedom and are the foes of tyranny.
You are not our queens. You are not our kings. You are not our gods. We do not belong to you. We are not your slaves. We stand as free humans, have stood since the beginning of time against the strong men.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday Speakers Corner Online podcast. I'm your host, Banksy Stahl, and as always, my partner in crime, Manny Cinder. Hello, Manny.
Good evening, Banksy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, and how is everyone else out in the world? We have a total of 2 people, so it's happening. Bussy Dayuth apparently is someone, and Mustafa Camel, which is nice. So,
I think
it looks like
I think everybody's watching the shit show over on the other channel.
Oh, the one that you were telling me about. Well, we're not going to promote anyone else whilst we're live, so lock it here until we finish, and then maybe at 9 o'clock you can go elsewhere.
I think the show gets more views afterwards, just because it's usually about an hour and people can easily catch up, where they can't really catch up a 8-hour live stream, which is going to be taken down because it's a shit show.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why people tend to watch us like after we've gone live, if they don't catch us live, because it's easy to run through an hour show versus 8 hours, 9 hours. I think when I pissed off Jupiter, she did like 2 10-hour shows on me.
You deserved it.
Never felt so much love from the internet in all my time on here. So yeah, that was awesome. Oh, sorry, guys, hold on. Let me flip this and then do that. Yeah, okay, that's better. Okay, so anything you want to talk about before we get into it?
Yeah,
any
I do. Yeah,
go on.
I kind of owe you an apology.
Ooh, this is a first in the history.
I'm going to apologize, but before I apologize, I just want you to know I don't mean it from the heart. I don't mean the apology.
Awesome.
I actually meant
good apology
what I did.
there.
I meant what I did, and I'll do it again if I have to. When you invited me on to talk about why I believe eating bugs and cockroaches is satanic and demonic, I knew what you meant, and I knew what information you wanted, and so on and so forth. I purposely derailed the whole conversation and kind of semi-trolled you, because serves you fucking right for doing it for all those times when I wanted to talk about something serious, and you and cocksucker Raj, go calling this, that, the other. So I did it to you. I hope you enjoyed it. It was awful, wasn't it? It was completely diabolical.
Well, I mean, the thing is, when you say something is satanic and then you don't explain what you mean by Satan, then you might as well just say, everything is, I don't know, Mickey Mousey.
Yeah. No, I could have done, and I will do. I'm going to do a show on it, on why and why it is satanic, because there is extracts from the Bible that confirms what we should and shouldn't be
Well,
eating.
actually,
But I didn't want to break that to you and allow you to have.
Well, there is a what's it called? A segment tonight, so we may be able to delve into that if you wish to, or go down that road, because we are going to cover the Balenciaga issue. Although I know you didn't want to say it on your show, that the name Balenciaga, I'm going to say it because I actually want their name to be associated with all this shit. I don't want their name, because sometimes they say, "Oh, don't say their name because you're advertising for them." No, not when you're talking about the things that they are doing and the things they should be associated with. I want their name to be firmly attached to all the Jimmy Savile type things that they've been promoting and doing. And again, we don't want to say the words child P, should we say, or anything like that. Normally we say CP, or in my case, I'm going to now use the word Balenciago every time I mean anyone abusing children, because that name and that act should be, forever associated. I want their brand to suffer for this hard, and it is. I mean, this isn't just like them hiring a celebrity that later on was then become like a bad person, and you're like, oh, they hired, I don't know, friggin' Rod, what's his name? Oh man, the guy who used to do cartoon drawings, Rolf
Harris.
Rolf Harris. Yeah, it's not like they hired Rolf Harris to, pose for their shoes or something, and then later on you go, well, the brand can usually disassociate themselves from that person, but this is their bed that they made. They went, and because this wasn't the first campaign, there's been a lot of other campaigns where they've had a lot of this CP Jimmy Savile kind of material in the background. Like they had another shoot which was in an office, and one of the papers was actually about a court case which was about CP in America. And then they were, and this shoot, the Christmas shoot. I mean, okay, I don't want to get into it. Let's get into our topics, and then there is a whole segment with Kanye West, his Alex Jones appearance, his Gavin McInnes appearance, and the clothes that he's wearing, which is all Balenciaga, and then we can then go into the Balenciaga thing, because I don't want to pre-thingy that. Is there anything else you want to do? Any preludes before we?
Yeah, I wanted to bash Yay anyway. So
yeah, we've got a whole.
This could be a good one. So let's go.
Exactly. I've got a whole thing. It's literally after we cover this very. It's going to be. Basically, we can cover through our conspiracy segment, in fact, the politics segment as well, and maybe even some of the current affairs. I do have a video from Andrew Lawrence that we could also get into. But what I first want to get into, just as a service, really, for our audience and for people out there, this is an article. Can you see this article all right? It's just a heading, but it says UK weather temperatures to dip below -8 Celsius and heavy snow for Scotland as cold snap arrives. Well, this, for me, this goes to the heart of. I mean, this is just simply a placeholder, but really, I wanted to talk about the cold that's coming, energy costs, people having to survive this. What do you foresee the issues, and can you offer any solutions, Manny, to people out there?
Well, it depends what solutions you're after, but there's an easy financial trade you could have placed every year, and that is basically you buy natural gas around about September. You can even do a spread bet. It's perfectly good. And then you sell it about January, February time, and you watch your bank balance increase. And that's if you want to make money. But as Reverend is saying in the chat, if you want to beat the cold snap, put
the fire on.
Yeah, absolutely.
As easy as said and done, unfortunately, for some people, because some people simply can't afford to put that fire on, and that's the thing. The problem is, let's say, for those who had foresight and did sort out some of their finances so they could turn on the central heating without starving. For those who have not, is there? I mean, literally, I'm not joking. This is my solution, and well, I mean, the thing is, I'm not really on exactly on the bread line here. In fact, I could do with missing a couple of meals, but when I want to not turn on the heating the whole day, because I work from home, so I'm home the whole day. So if I turn on the heating, I'm on the whole day, and I'm trying to climatize myself so that I don't have to put the heating on all the time. And so I use hot water bottle. I just get a hot water bottle. There's all sorts of them available on the big online markets.
Do you use Tampax as well?
Sometimes, yeah, you put a Tampax. If the ones that you insert with a little rope, if you can put that in the hot water for a few minutes and then wedge it up there, you can keep warm all day. What the fuck do you want me to say? I'm trying to give people solution. You're talking about you should have invested 2 years ago, 5 years ago into some shit.
I didn't. I said place a trade on natural gas as we roll up to winter, knowing that the commodity price is going to go up. You didn't tell me what type of solution you wanted. I thought you're asking me financial stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, that's fair enough. But unfortunately, for those of us, I'm trying to like give a range of solutions. So like you got that financial solutions from the markets, then you've got get a better job, learn to code, but also you've got people, pensioners. What would you give advice for like a pensioner? Now, I think personally, from the ground level, hot water bottles, great, get loads of them, and just dot them around, blankets and stuff. Also, I don't know, electricity is far more expensive. I've heard propane tanks, and people are getting propane heaters. They can actually be far more cost effective. The problem is, you're dealing with propane here. I don't want to encourage an old pensioner with arthritis to go and get a propane tank and then blow themselves up.
Okay, look, most houses, unless they've been built in the last few years, have a chimney. They may have blocked it off, or they may have knocked some bricks out to make it into a little cubby hole. But generally, most houses have a chimney. Just open that back up. It's as simple as that. 1 room, 2 rooms, the whole house, whatever. Open the chimney back up. Start buying firewood. Coal, whatever you want to do, just open it. It's as simple as that. Now, if you live in an apartment, then you're an idiot, because
we're screwed. If you live in an apartment, you're gonna get cold.
But you can get, there are cheap solutions out there. It's all electricity based or oil radiator and things like that. But it is possible to. But look, you just got to get on with it. This is Britain. It gets cold. It's all good. Have some more protein. Have a steak. Have some chicken. You know what I mean? Just get on with it. Every time you get cold, get on a treadmill or do some squats or something. You'll soon warm up. It's as simple as that. Once you're in bed under the duvet, I'm sure it's pretty warm there anyway. You can do a Banksy, take a hot water bottle and rub it up against yourself, that type of thing. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, again, as I said, there's a range of hot water, because this is the other thing about what I noticed about hot water bottle technology is it has moved on, and there is a whole range. You can get these very long ones, you can get these curved ones that go around your waist, you can get all sorts of different types of hot water bottles now. So I think hot water bottles is a genuine thing. I mean, Reverend is putting in, you can't have open fires in built up areas. So fireplaces, if you had a fireplace in an old terraced house, you may not be able to use it anymore. You may not actually be allowed to use it anymore. Of course, then all the bullshit environmentalists are going to come back at you. You're suggesting open up coal fires again. Holy shit! So yeah.
So can I just make a comment too, Rev? I'll be a white activist with you. I see plenty of rights, liberties and freedoms and cultures being eroded from Britain. So, I'll be your token Sikh guy in your quest to save Britain.
There you go. But yeah. So I mean, generally, yeah. Okay. Moving on from that, let's move to the juicy conversational starters. Now, I want to actually. I want to just play the beginning part of this. This comes from the Worst Network on YouTube. the Young Turks, but I'm not interested in promoting them or even having their opinions. I just want this segment that they cut at the beginning.
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things.
Okay. It seems that Kanye West, or Ye, as he wishes to be known now, loves a lot of things about Hitler. Manny, the door is open. You go at it. By the way, let me just preface. Let me just put this out there. Everything Ye's wearing is Balenciaga. He's wearing the Balenciaga gimp mask. He's wearing the Balenciaga jacket, gloves, and I believe shoes as well. But I think he's doing it on purpose in order to kind of. I don't think he's a friend of Balenciaga. I think he's doing it to actually tarnish them. But anyway, Manny, the floor is yours.
Right. So I personally think Ye is a plant. I do not think he's a genuine person. I also think, even though he may not have been, but he definitely is now, Trump is now acting very much like a plant. I do not think these people are genuine. I think they have been put in place to derail any genuine Americans have of reclaiming their country, their democracy. And I think it's quite a sad state of affairs. Now, the question is, how the hell did the ultra-conservative Alex Jones manage to have that idiot on? Why can he not see it? Why can he not see Ye and his family are big investors and supporters of Balenciaga? And that he was wearing all that. I mean, if I stood, I mean, I know I've done it to you slightly with a freedom tape across my face and stuff and what have you. I mean, if we were in the studio and I did something like that and I was bigging up Hitler and all these other things, straight away, instinctively, you would know something's amiss. Why did Alex Jones not be able to call that out? Okay, maybe he did a little bit, but Ye is definitely a plant. He's just not genuine. I mean, long time ago, I saw a video of him saying that he had sold his soul to the devil. Now, look, I'm not saying that the devil exists or that really did happen or didn't happen. The point is, all these type of nefarious individuals that kind of secretly support, the New World Order, generally do that type of thing. I don't trust him. I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. I think he should be wrapped up, put into a asylum, and the key should be thrown away.
Well, I mean, my take on the fact that Alex Jones didn't challenge him is because he saw the Tim Pool reaction, and Ye or Kanye he thinks that he's so famous, that he's such a privilege for any YouTube or online station or news program to have him on, that he doesn't need he shouldn't be challenged in any way. This is basically, you are lucky to have me on your channel, and you should just simply let me say anything I want to say for as long as I want to say it. And if you challenge me or if you try to be any kind of pushback against me, I'm just going to walk away, because I'm the star. You're nobody. I'm actually making you somebody. I think that was the attitude he took with Tim, and I would presume he would be the same with Alex Jones. So basically what he expects is you sit there, kiss my ass while I rant and rave about anything I want, and however mad it is. Whilst what he doesn't realize is that although, Alex Jones has been cancelled from everything, so it's not a major issue for Alex, but Tim Pool has to still be on YouTube. That is his livelihood. That is his entire business. He does have a platform of his own, but he doesn't have it anywhere near as big as Alex Jones does. So he still relies on YouTube as his core business. He can't just let Kanye say whatever the hell he wants without any kind of pushback. They'll take his YouTube from him. They may not take it away, but certainly they'll ban that video. And he'll get a lot of shit for it. So it was actually to Tim Pool's benefit, if you will, for Kanye to walk away, than it was for him to allow Kanye to sit there unchallenged to rant about anything he wants.
And I'll tell you what was surprising. I've got quite a few lefty friends. I keep them around just for entertainment purposes more than anything else. But one of them, and I hated him for doing this, he actually pointed out that it must be a cold day in hell when Alex Jones seems like the same person in a conversation about politics. And even though he was part trolling me, he made a fair point, because Alex Jones, I think, gained a lot of PR points with his response to that. So fair enough to Alex.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is. You're right that sitting in a room and Alex Jones is the sensible one. He's the level-headed person in the room. Is a rare event. That's for sure. That is. But the thing is, you're right. I think Kanye is kind of a clown, and this was a performative art. I think that's what I see, actually, is this being a performance or performative art piece. It's not a real interview, because I can show you another one, which is again from Censoring.
Jewish people have done some good things.
That's with his Gavin McInnes interview. Now, again, this is another person who's banned from everything. I'll be honest, us just simply showing these images and clips may cause us issues.
And they've done some bad things.
There you go. And there he is again in the same outfit. So this is why I'm saying this. This is why I think this is a performance piece, is because he's wearing the same costume effectively, and he's putting on a performance. This isn't an actual.
So that's a bondage gear headdress, right?
Well, the thing is, it's not. You could say it could be a gimp mask. I mean, gimp masks are traditionally leather or PVC with a zip for the mouth. Not
Reverend is very kindly inviting us both to a pub stream. I don't know if I'll be more than happy to accept. I don't know if
I'm well up for that, Rev. Hit us up whenever you're running it. You've got my details. You're on my Discord, and I think Manny, have you got Reverend on your Discord?
I don't know if he's still on my Discord or not, or if he ever was. But he
no. You as a friend in your Discord, sort of.
No. Rev never accepted my friendship in 2018. But that's okay, Rev. No problem.
No hard feelings.
I'm sure Rev can message me on Discord. I'm on his server, so it should be fairly easy.
Okay. Yeah, message me if you can't get a hold of Manny, and I'll pass on the message as well. More than happy to jump on and run through these as well. Okay, moving on from Kanye's issues, but also same related stuff, because everything he's wearing is Balenciaga. Your thoughts on the Balenciaga brand? And also there has been, a lot of, I've heard this more than one person talk about the fact that the term Balenciaga is Baal, what was it? Blessings to Baal. But
so that's a demon god.
It is. It's a satanic character, Baal. I think it's a derivative of Iblis and Baal and what was his other names? I mean, lots of demons or lots of Satans. The Satan himself has multiple names: Morning Star, Iblis, Shaitan, the devil, Lucifer. And I think Baal is one of the head demons.
Actually, Lucifer is not the name for Satan or the devil. That's a misquote. Jesus actually said he was Lucifer, as in the light bearer. So them calling Satan Lucifer is actually a misquote. If you go back and read the Bible, he actually clarifies that Jesus says, I am Lucifer, as in Lucifer as in the light bearer.
That's why Lucifer's other name is the morning light.
And Jesus represents the Son. He's the Son of God, S-U-N, not the Son of God, S-O-N. So if you go back and try to read the original ancient Hebrew text, you'll see that that's quite the case.
Yeah, and I know you're into a lot of your sort of celestial bodies and the Saturn and Satanists being associated with the Saturn, whilst Jesus is the sun. But I mean, the thing is, in ancient religions, the sun was always a god. In a lot of different religions, the Kemits, obviously Amun Ra. In Zoroastrianism, Ahura Mazda. I'm sure even in Byzantine religions, as well as possibly even the Hindus, they must have a sun god there somewhere as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, the sun. The sun represents, because it's the most powerful celestial body in our solar system. So and we get, the plants grow because of the sun. All our nutrients, a lot of, I mean, pretty much everything exists because of our sun. So sun has been very instrumental as a god throughout the centuries. But anyway, what are your thoughts on Balenciaga as a company and as a force, effectively an influence in our modern times?
I've seen the fashion label being sold in various stores. I've come across it. It's never been to my taste. I've never bought anything, and I'm very happy. I wouldn't piss on the label after what's come to light recently. I wasn't aware there was a history of them doing this type of thing. I wasn't surprised, but I was extremely disgusted. And the audacity and the openness and the protectiveness that they must have to even try and do that to the public is horrifying. So as a fashion, I mean, I don't really dress in that hoodlum type of outfits anyway. I must say I haven't seen everything that they produce garment-wise is of that caliber. They do have some smart-looking clothes, but I've never bought them. I never will, and that fashion label is effectively over as far as I'm concerned. And if they haven't already, all these top stores like Selfridges, Harrods, and what have you should be discontinuing to sell those garments straight away.
Yeah, exactly. Now, someone actually pointed out there's a book on the desk. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't think in this particular video footage that I have, I'm going to notice anything specific, but he is grabbing.
Can I just say something while you're trying to find that book? Like we have left-wing idiots lining the streets, stopping traffic for fake climate crisis. We have left-wing communist people coming out in mass because the government is wanting to give freedom to the people and stop them having to wear masks and what have you. Not a single person is demonstrating for paedophilia and horrific crimes of this nature, right? I mean, where are the protests? Why aren't people stopping the traffic now? It's just, the people are warped. It's a very damaged world, and people need to very quickly start thinking straight.
Yeah, exactly. Child abuse or CP, or how I would like to associate with it is Balenciagoing. How is it no one's protesting this? And this is the irony in this whole situation is first of all, I don't know if you noticed almost a deafening silence from the mainstream media in regards to the Balenciaga fiasco. No major outlets, at least nothing that I've seen, is actually highlighting this or actually making any kind of fuss about this. Now imagine if some right-wing product is some product that, I don't know, let's imagine, I don't know, Trump steak or Trump University was associated with any child abuse or any kind of campaign that they had little kids doing all sorts of terrible things. What would the media do? They would explode. Their heads would explode, and it would be repeated on a loop 24/7 on CNN. I can imagine every outlet would just forever.
And another thing about this stupid moron, you're right. I mean, going around and saying all Jewish people are this, all Jewish people are. Jewish people are as much victims of globalism and all the horribleness that's going on in the world as the rest of us. I don't know what it is with these nincompoops that they can't figure out that Jewish people, the average Jewish person, is no different to the rest of us. If we're being suppressed by a certain regime, why would they not be? What makes you think that they weren't killed in World War II? Why do you think? I mean, look at George Soros, one of the biggest globalists. I mean, he's Jewish himself.
Well, yeah.
He teamed up with a German to go around and rob Jewish people. I mean, the whole thing's ludicrous. I'm telling you, he's a plant He's there to just cause controversy, and there's no doubt in my mind, including Trump, they're there to cause controversy and cause issues. They both must be ousted. Americans need to start looking towards DeSantis, because at the moment I can't see anyone better than him.
The thing is, didn't you say some time back that DeSantis was also kind of a bored guy? He was kind of a made man.
No, somebody else did that. There's a conspiracy that's the case. I haven't seen any evidence of it. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'd be happy to look at evidence if somebody has it. I haven't seen it at the moment. If you're standing up against lockdowns and opening schools up, opening shops up like he was, and closing borders and what have you, I can't see how he could be. But again, look, I could be wrong. I was wrong about Trump. I was wrong about even Nigel Farage. They turned out to be plants.
So yeah, I mean, well, they certainly fell short of what we were hoping that they would accomplish. But DeSantis, I mean, I guess you could say, don't listen to what people say, but look at what they do, and actions, speak louder than words. And you can't, if you say that even if DeSantis runs the United States half as good as he ran the state of Florida, then United States in pretty good hands, because if you see the way he behaved, maybe it's different. Maybe you can do things on a state level that you can't in a national level.
And did you see what Trump did when DeSantis hinted at he might be running for president? He said, I know secrets about DeSantis that will make him look black. Oh, what kind of shit is that?
But the thing is, I think that's Trump's MO anyway. He starts immediately knocking down the people that potentially could be threats to his ascent. So he wants to win. At the moment, he's in the race to win the nomination for the Republican Party as president. So anyone who thinks that they're going to challenge him, he's going to, I think that was a kind of a shot across the bow for DeSantis to tell him to, look, back off on this one. 2024 is mine. And you can, I can only run for 4 years anyway. 4 years from now, you can, do it again, and you most likely will win. But going up against Trump, you're going to have issues. And if either of them decide to run as independents, then there's a very good chance that the Democrats will win, because they'll siphon off the votes, and the Republicans simply won't have enough to win, for their candidates to win. I mean, let's be honest. If Trump is actually nominated for the Democratic Party, just like 2020, the kind of fuckeries they pulled in 2020, the kind of things they pulled in the 2022 midterms, those things are going to get ramped up, quadruple. I would be amazed even if a single polling station that a Republican that is in a Republican area will even be open. I mean, they literally gave faulty equipment in the 2022 midterms. People in Republican areas couldn't actually go to vote because the equipment was broken, or the polling stations were just like 10 times busier than usual, and they didn't have enough staff. I mean, they pulled every trick in the book to try to stifle the Republican vote, and they still lost the House. Imagine how bad it was for them to do all of that shit and still lose the House. And I mean, if you actually look at the numbers, they've actually lost the Senate as well. The Democrats don't dominate the Senate, but I think when you look at the independents or whatever, it works out to like being kind of an even 50-50 split. So it's basically the Senate is is a stalemate. They're not going to really get much through in the Senate. It's going to be very difficult for either party to pass anything in the Senate. The Republicans dominated. I mean, they've got like 220 or 222. They only need 218 to win the House, and obviously the presidency it remains to be seen in about 2 years, give or take. So anyway, as far as this situation with DeSantis and Trump is concerned, now you said something that to me was I think a brilliant idea if these guys could do it. A Trump DeSantis vice president presidency. If these two could agree on this and let Trump take, if DeSantis can be kind of humble enough to say, okay, I'll let Trump take the lead on this. I will campaign with him. And if Trump says, you can be my vice president, let's do this. You get into the White House, you get to DC, you get experience in the DC world to how to operate in there, then run for 2028 if Trump wins.
Or alternatively, Trump can fuck off. He pushed the vaccinations. He didn't deliver on the promises that he said he would when he was elected. People can just wake up that he is poisoned, that he needs to turn around, take his 7'8", however tall he is, ass back to wherever he came from. Yeah.
What do you think? Trump is a fucking NBA player?
Yeah, I do.
I think
and he can't
Jordan
dance.
is shorter than that.
And he can't dance. Operation Warp Speed. I mean, this is how it's going to work out anyway. Even if he gets elected, right, because of Operation Warp Speed, I mean, look at even now, lefties are beginning to realize that whatever was injected inside their bodies is attacking them and attacking other people. It's only a matter of time. What I've been warning about comes to reality, and people like Trump are going to have to be taken to to court on the rest of it. Operation Warp Speed was bad news, and it was a trap. If he was legitimate, it was a trap, and he now has to pay the price. And I say good riddance to him. Anybody that pushed vaccines the way he did should be locked up.
All right. Okay, shall we move on from? Are you done with Balenciaga and Ye?
Yeah, fucking horrible man.
I've got this video.
Oh, you got Finger Job coming up. Awesome. I love this guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a brilliant guy. But the thing is, I mean, I'm not really sure where we can go with this, but let's listen to his video. It's relatively short. It's only 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Lawrence I just love Andrew, and then we can take what he says and do some commentary over that.
To accept as normal everyday life here in the
hold up
amid the socio-economic perma-crisis that we've now come to accept as normal everyday life here in the UK, we now seem to inhabit a society without trust. We live in a world where lying seems to have become the cultural norm, where dishonesty has become a default state, where those who get caught out lying feel no shame, no guilt, and no need to apologise. They simply make unflinching excuses, ignore all criticism, and carry on living their lives in a questionable manner. With a major outbreak of Strep A having now killed 8 primary school children in the UK as a direct consequence of the COVID lockdown's impact on general immunity, where are all the scientists and politicians who lied to us, who forced lockdown on us and told us it was the right thing to do? Trust the science, we were told. But it wasn't the science that we needed to trust, was it? It was the scientists. And as it turns out, a number of them were deeply corruptible and need to face criminal prosecution. Where have Whitty and Van Tam gone exactly? They sanctioned the destruction of our economy. They forbade us to see dying family members. They damaged our children's education and mental health. And now they seem to have disappeared into the sunset. Where is the accountability? Matt Hancock, as Health Secretary, pushed this lockdown agenda and squandered billions of pounds of taxpayers' money on useless PPE. Is he in prison? No, he's just been paid 400 grand to go on television and eat sheep's vagina and make mealy-mouthed, pathetic excuses for a rancid, adulterous affair he conducted at a time when he should have been fully focused on dragging this country out of a COVID lockdown that was irrevocably destroying our way of life. Every week, there seems to be new information about the COVID vaccine's total lack of efficacy. Is anyone at Pfizer or Moderna being held accountable? No, they're laughing themselves all the way to the bank. On an international scale, this is all being brushed under the carpet, kept quiet. No one in power is being held accountable for what we can now see are the horrific consequences of global lockdown. A dodgy vaccine, useless PPE, and a track and trace system that didn't work. Huge amounts of taxpayers' money all over the world was used to pay for medical and pharmaceutical crap. manufactured by con merchants who grew incredibly rich by exploiting what was sold to us all as a global health crisis. And they all walk away scot-free, whilst the economic devastation that they've left in their wake plunges billions of decent, hard-working people around the world into poverty. And the tax rises and the energy crisis and the food crisis, we're made to feel like all of these things are our own fault, that we all sat at home doing nothing during the pandemic, and now we have to pay the price. Well, that wasn't our choice, was it? It was a prison sentence imposed on us by creepy authoritarian globalists, liars, scammers, and crooks. We know we've been lied to, we know we've been scammed, and yet it goes unpunished. We live in a world now where dishonesty and corruption is fine, just so long as you can get away with it. And so the moral foundations of civilization crumble, and we all wonder what horrors are going to come next. Please do like and subscribe, and support my comedy by clicking the links.
Okay, yeah, guys, that was Andrew Lawrence, and not Andrew Tate. Let me. I apologize.
Below this video,
I just wanna add. Stop it. Before we go into commentary, Manny, I just want you to. I just want to highlight this for everyone. This is a quote from Elena Grokova. The rules are simple. They lie to us. We know they're lying. They know we know they're lying, but they keep lying to us, and we keep pretending to believe them. Mr. Cinder, your comments.
Well, where do I start? Those of you that subscribe to my YouTube channel, I was on this very, very quickly when all the lockdown happened. I had a strike every 2 weeks on YouTube, and as soon as one was removed, I could start live streaming. Another one was put on because I was trying to warn people. I could see through their BS. So my conscience is clear. Whoever God is, whoever the master of this university is, my message to him is basically thank you for really giving me discernment to be able to see through the BS. I mean, there were the first few moments that I thought this could be a genuine chemical attack, but thankfully I didn't fall for it. But this chap is completely right. Everyone from this health secretary who basically slaughtered, who should be tried for slaughter and God knows what type of criminal issues, him, the Prime Minister, every single police officer, every single nurse, every single doctor that pushed the lockdown, that pushed the vaccine, that pushed the narrative that people could not see their dying mother in an OAP home, that you shouldn't go see your grandkids, people that suffer from depression, people that even convince their own family members that the vaccines are safe. All these people should be tried. They should be arrested, and the key should be thrown away. These are demonic individuals, starting from the political elite, the media, the police, and then the second tier should be, in fact, the nurses and the doctors go in the first tier, and then the second tier should be those that went along with this lie. I mean, these are Nazis. This is a Nazi-style campaign, psychological campaign. I'm willing to look over perhaps family members pushing their family members out of ignorance, but that's it. I cannot look beyond that. My own family members who are senior medical people, I've told them, I looked them in the eye and I've told them, you should be arrested, you will be arrested, and you will be tried. And it doesn't matter if the NHS have given you the blue light to go ahead and push this. It's morally corrupt, it's morally wrong, and I will not stop flagging, the crime that these people have committed.
Do you actually foresee any scenario in which some of these individuals like Matt Hancock and Dr. Fauci and others who clearly pushed things that were not in any way really scientific as such? These people were faking effectively as a lot of I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't blame them to some extent. I think it's a very unpredictable situation, which most people didn't know what they were doing. But what I would appreciate from my government, supposedly, is A, treat me like an adult, and B, tell me when you don't know what you're doing. Say, we don't know what we're doing. We're figuring this out, because no one knows what they're doing. We're not the only ones that doesn't know what we're doing. We are trying our best, and this is the best that we have available to us.
No, I'm sorry. They knew what they were doing, right? As soon as the average mind realized it was a scam, you could not ignore the fact that this was some draconian move to take over society and build a new type of system. That was very clear to see very early on. So this whole thing that they don't know what they're doing, no, this was the pre-rehearsed plan. That's why global organizations such as the UN and the World Health Organization were the ones pushing the policies through. I mean, this is why Bill Gates was able to tell the world what he was planning. This is why Bill Gates was the one that was funding these labs along with Fauci and the other governments. I mean, this whole thing, they did not know what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. The only people that didn't know what they were doing, that those people that actually took the vaccinations and those people who think even now they didn't know what they were doing. They played the script to the key, right? And if anybody deserves credit for calling this type of stuff off, is Mike Adams of Natural News, partly or significantly Alex Jones of Infowars, and a few others. I mean, I had heard what they thought these guys were planning to do. Fair enough, I read some of the documents that they referred to, but they played it out. This was pre-planned. You can't come to any other conclusions. Sorry, Banksy.
No, that's perfectly fine. No, I mean, okay. I mean, this was my kind of generous stance, is because I always believe in this quote of don't assume malice when stupidity suffice, and so I'm more likely to give the governments or any of these characters the benefit of the doubt, to say, okay, they were stupid rather than they were malicious. But I can't argue with you if you make the case for malicious intent.
The government has endless funds. They employ the most intelligent people. They research most significantly. Everything that they want and have is top level. Governments don't make mistakes. They may make a mistake, for example, that they may use the wrong tactics in a war, or they may go down the wrong industry road and promote one industry over another. These are just business or tactical mistakes. You don't make mistakes like this is a fake virus and there's no evidence of it. It's never been isolated and the vaccines don't work. And we know the vaccines are supposed to be tested for decades. These are not mistakes. These, it was a mistake that we ordered PPE equipment only from our friend's company. That's not a mistake. That's fraud. Oh, and it was a mistake that we walked over the Constitution and law, so you're now all prisoners. That was a mistake. That's tyranny, right?
I would like to reiterate, sorry, Manny, in the middle of your words, but according to YouTube, the vaccines are effective and valid, and we still have to actually keep that narrative, even though we may or may not know better. But according to YouTube's guidance, we can't question the efficacy of the vaccines. That is just simply for us to say that on YouTube. But if you care, and this is something I haven't actually done a whole night, what the hell was I doing? Because this is a billboard, not a show. This show is sponsored, before we move on, sorry, Manny, by Speakers Corner Online. Speakers Corner Online is a social media platform where where the founders tend to wish to keep in the spirit of Speakers Corner and freedom of speech and expression. So if we can't say things that the vaccines in any way were faulty on YouTube, you can express yourself, shall we say, a little bit more freely on Speakers Corner Online. So if you want to hear the hot takes on Manny's thoughts about
I've noticed that this picture that's been created of you and I, where your picture image has been elongated so you look nice and slim, and my picture has been squashed so I essentially look like a minstrel.
Is that what you think? Was this the conspiracy behind this particular thing? I will literally stretch you until you look like a fucking stick.
Since when have I had a head shaped like a squashed raisin? Come on, dude.
I made this thumbnail in a very short amount of time, and I just now you're giving me your take on the thumbnail. God's sake. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, go to Speakers Corner Online and sign up for an account if you want to hear Manny's hot takes on what he really thinks about the last 2 years. But on YouTube, vaccines work and they're effective as far as YouTube is concerned. We're just putting that one out there. Okay, so moving on to our next segment. Sorry, Manny, I did interrupt you. Did you want to finish your point on? Did you?
Yeah. When I have these conversations, just very quickly, Banksy, when I think about these conversations about what they did, obviously what the Australian police and the British police did to protesters, beating them up, smacking them, physically abusing them, kidnapping them, that's bad enough. But when I see those videos where a daughter was trying to get her elderly mother out of the home for the elderly, and she was stopped. She was saying, I am a nurse. I want to take my own mother home and look after her. No, you're not allowed to. I saw one video of a grandmother breaking down, like literally just breaking down, that she could not breathe anymore. She did not want to carry on because she couldn't touch her family. These people are just absolute demons. Whether you actually think that they exist or not, these people have a demonic soul. If you at any moment you thought it would be okay, and I can't forgive them. Like I said, I have the same policy with members of my own family and relatives that were part of the NHS or the medical system. You all need to be locked up. That's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with you as far as the cruelty that they forced upon so many people, people's funerals. The Queen, the previous Queen Elizabeth of Britain wasn't allowed to sit with her own family when her husband died, and I think that may have contributed somewhat to her depression and subsequent passing away herself. I think the Queen had a few more years left in her. That's my opinion. Her mother, made it over the 100-year line, and I think she could have as well. But Philip dying and the subsequent sort of traumatic events after that, I'm sure would have led to her passing. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, let's get to a bit more of a uplifting sort of mood, because our next segment is sports, and I'll be honest, I really didn't have a lot for the sports section today. I found this and I went with it. This is dog surfing.
What?
By the way, this is a competitive event. This isn't just dog surfing where people just take their dogs to surf. This is a competition for dog surfing. Let me speed this up a little bit. There we go. Looking down a young man, saying, wanting what's past everything. He takes a knee to pray. A father trains his king to be, but it's the night that he runs free. He walks along castle walls, then looks upon them there, he give up it all.
Hey guys, it's Michael and Abby, the surfing dog. We're out here at Huntington Beach, California, Surf City, USA, for the 6th annual Unleashed by Petco dog surfing competition.
6th annual dog surfing competition. This is a 6th one.
We just finished our heat. Maybe the roughest conditions we've had in the last 7 years. The event works pretty much the same as possible, and the surfing contest works as we've had in the last 7 years. The event works pretty much the same way a human surfing contest works. You get about 10 minutes to catch as many waves as possible, and your top 2 waves are scored. They judge the dogs on the length of the ride, height of the wave, as well as the dog's character on the board. I take my bus and I compare it to the washing machine to beat the second, counting seconds from the digital screen. I bought a dozen roses, just them
from the side of the street. They will sit up in my backseat. They were exposed to the heat. I get a siren cloud. I try to make it come with my eye and a fuck. I'm singing, we start singing like the motor sound. This melody and golden.
All right, we have that. Any thoughts?
Well, I would say every single one of those dogs can surf better than me.
I think so. They could at least stay on the board. But
have you been surfing, Banks?
No, I've never been surfing.
I have tried. I can't say I was very good. I was obviously much younger and a lot slimmer, so I was able to jump up from a lying position onto the board. Though I can't say it was a big wave. I would say more of a ripple. When I did it, it's a lot more difficult than it looks. I'll be honest, but it's a great sport to look at or watch. Though it is quite difficult when they're far away. But it's not. I don't find it as much fun when you're doing it yourself, unless you're at it every single day and you're practicing. I don't know.
I think when you get good at it, then it becomes fun. Everything when you first start, it's just horrific. And like when I started roller skating and then rollerblading, yeah, you hit your ass all the time. In fact, in the last summer when I started going back to it after a big break, the first few weeks, you saw me. I tried to do one. The very first time was actually on camera, a Speaker's Corner show on a Friday, and it was horrific. I had to actually go back. In fact,
no, you were quite good. You're lacking confidence. You were quite good. It was impressive. I couldn't do that, but
I'm talking about the very first one when I was actually doing a live.
It wasn't that bad, dude. It wasn't that bad.
That was horrific, but. Yeah, later on as I practiced, then I, got my stride back again. I could go backwards and everything again. But admittedly, that particular one, my wheels were completely off as well. They were literally wobbling. So the whole thing was bad. But once I got my equipment back to a decent state, do you, Manny or Banksy, own a dog? Unfortunately not. Where I live, it's just not feasible for me to have a dog.
I don't at the moment, but I'm just waiting for a new prop to go through, and then in the summer I'll probably get I'll probably get a Rottweiler, actually, maybe a couple of them. I like dogs. I grew up in a farm, so part of my childhood, not entire. So we always had dogs. My grandfather always owned dogs and horses. So you've got to have a dog. Come on, man. You've got to have a dog.
If I lived the thing is, in London with apartments and stuff, it's really hard to keep a dog I wouldn't want to keep a dog in an apartment. I want them to have a backyard. I want them to be able to run around. It's just, I know people who have dogs in flats, but I think it's cruel. I think it's not good for them. They should be able to go out and run around and just generally have that freedom. So for me, until I move into a decent sized house with a decent backyard, I will get I wouldn't mind getting a dog.
I don't like dogs inside. The house starts stinking.
Well, generally, yeah. It's not that. It depends on the type of dog, because you can get these labradoodles or whatever. They're hypoallergenic, and they've literally bred dogs for people who are allergic to dogs, in order for them to be hypoallergenic. They don't molt. They don't shed their fur too much or at all. These are like they call them labradoodles, some shit like that. Extremely expensive. My brother works with dogs, so he knows loads about it. But yeah, you can get dogs that are house dogs effectively. But again, I still would prefer for them to have an outdoor space.
They're not dogs. Yeah, those house dogs are little dogs. They're not dogs. They're little.
They're just overgrown rats. Overgrown hamsters.
I quite like spaniels, as a house dog. But again, I just don't like the smell of a dog inside, so I wouldn't. I don't keep them inside.
Yeah, but when I see videos of dogs and their owners, it's amazing. Love those. Just the dogs truly love you unconditionally, because they just know you're the source of food. They know food comes from you, and they truly do love you, and they would die for you, literally. That's known. So
especially a Rottweiler.
well, yeah, just about any dog really, but yeah, I mean, obviously, if you get German Shepherds, Rottweilers, those are like guard dogs.
Mastiff as well, they'll die for you.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know about those sort of dogs with children around. If you have young children, I'm always worried. I'm always worried. You just don't want to be that guy whose child got eaten by his dog. So just I would caution against, like, pit bulls and mastiffs and stuff. If you've got children, maybe what do they call it? Like Labradors and are they the golden retrievers? And those are much more sort of passive dogs. But I've known dogs, even those types of dogs, golden retrievers, who've bitten children because kids don't know. They're just gonna poke the dog in the fucking face. Or just poke him in the eye. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I think the issue is parents thinking it's okay for kids to be around adult dogs. I think that's the problem. I mean,
especially toddlers.
Yeah,
because toddlers, they don't know. They're not aware of how to hold it. They just go and grab it and stick a finger in his eyes and his nose and shit. The dog loses his shit. So at the end of the day, it is a predatory animal. It's, no matter how many thousands of years of training and breeding has calmed them down, still an animal. It's still a wild wolf inside there. So yeah, I think just be a bit cautious with toddlers and dogs. Anyway, moving on to the money section. Now, I'll be honest, Manny, again, very little on the ground with the money thing. You're my money guy. I'm usually depending on you, but what I wanted to highlight was just this, to see if this is something that you would consider.
You could get 4 Bitcoin for a penny, right?
Okay.
Did you know when Bitcoin first started, you could get 4 Bitcoin for a penny? Right. It's hard.
Actually, you could get 10,000 Bitcoins for a price of pizza. I know some guy who offered 10,000 Bitcoins for a guy to order him a pizza for like $5. So, yes, you could get Bitcoins for a lot less than even a penny.
As hard as that is to believe, for less than a quarter, you could have become a millionaire right now. While Bitcoin is certainly an anomaly in cryptocurrency, there's still tons of opportunities for people out there to be able to turn a little bit of money into a lot. Today, I'm going to be giving you my top 5 cheap altcoins that could make you a millionaire. Let's get it. BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens, crawling all the top decentralized.
This is a friggin' ad. With your ads.
The largest crypto channel in all the interwebs. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money in crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button for your chance to win a full Bitcoin. You enjoy these top altcoin videos. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 cheap altcoins. These are coins that in some cases are under a penny. The most expensive coin on this whole list is only 15 cents. Now, you guys do have to understand, much of what has driven the price of Bitcoin through the roof over the years is its extremely limited supply. It only has a max supply of 21 million coins ever. Most of the coins we'll look at today have billions of coins. So the chance of these coins getting to $60,000 like Bitcoin is pretty much impossible, but they still offer huge opportunities to investors. Also, guys, if you want to do some deep research into altcoins, you can use my altcoin research site of choice, portfolio.
Yeah.
If you watched our Coins on 200% game/deals and kick off the list. Coming in at number 5, I have PoonDX. This is one of my first coin reviews I ever did on this channel back in 2018. Price is coming in at about half a penny these days. Now, it's had quite a resurgence over 2021, but here's the thing. It still hasn't even eclipsed its all-time high price from 2018 when it saw its price go all the way over a penny and a half. So while it's crushed it lately, it still needs a 2x to get back to all-time highs, and that's what I call potential. So what is PoonDX? It's a point-of-sale platform for people to be able to spend their crypto, plain and simple. You know, like Bitcoin started out as digital currency. So PoonDX is highly focused in Southeast Asia, Indonesia to be exact.
Okay.
While spending crypto seems like a luxury for us in the United States, PoonDX is this project through a massive altcoin season. And going by the ticker, coming in next at number 4, we have Holochain. The coin going by the ticker HOT has certainly been on a tear lately, crushing new all-time highs and making its bear market woes seem like ancient history. While the price had a bit of a correction, it's already challenged a new all-time high and could be ready to test it again.
Okay, let's go. Hollow chain.
Hollow chips, delivering the fire. You get it? Of hype, but never seemed to materialize. And is BitTorrent launched with a hot. At number 3, we have an interesting project that was launched with a ton of hype, but never seemed to materialize. BitTorrent. BitTorrent has eclipsed its previous 2019 all-time high and is looking for more, coming in at about 1/3 of a penny for the price right now. Now, if you're new to crypto, but BitTorrent sounds familiar, it should be. It was a non-crypto website that enabled users to share files or torrents in a decentralized manner, peer-to-peer. Basically, if you want a file such as a movie or a music download, users of BitTorrent would all have small parts of the file and would each send you their tiny section. When you received all the different file fragments, they would then be put together, giving you full access to the file. 2019, Justin Sun announced that crypto project Tron would be buying BitTorrent and helping it to come into the world of blockchain.
There you go.
Launchpad is now in the marketing store. In number 2, another project that launched on Binance in 2019, Harmony. Now, people have been begging me to cover this one for a while, so here you go. Harmony goes by the ticker 1. And a quick look at the chart reveals this one has gone parabolic, and the community is calling for a $1 token. Is that possible? Well, a 9 billion circulating supply isn't actually terrible. Definitely a
9
lot compared
billion.
to Bitcoin's 18.6 million circulating.
9 billion, though, isn't that just ridiculous? I mean, that's just what's the value then? That's just, that thing will never make it to even to $1.
Supply actually terrible. Is that possible? Well, a 9 billion circulating supply isn't actually terrible. Definitely a lot. Economics and potential most out. And
Let's go for number 1.
There'll be more. He's got strong fundamentals. My list of cheap altcoins is one you cannot go wrong with, VeChain. I'm telling you guys about this one since 2018. There's no stronger project in the supply chain tracking space. It's not even close. While you look at many of the charts from today's cheap altcoins and see that they've gone parabolic out of nowhere, VeChain has been building up ever since the summer of 2020 when the price was under a penny. I told you it had some of the best potential in the entire crypto space for the bull run and could push upwards of $2 by the end of this year. While we are still a 20x or so away from $2, we've already seen almost 1,000% gain since I picked it and gave a price prediction. And I believe that we still will get there all the way to $2 by the end of this bull run.
Okay. This was this video was BitBoy Crypto. So if you guys are interested in these coins or anything else to do with Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, check him out, I guess. I'm giving him props for providing us with the content. So, Manny, Bitcoins, altcoins, are they worth it? Are they just a con?
That's a good question. Depends what it is that you want to do with them. Generally speaking, I don't really kind of promote any crypto apart from Bitcoin, generally speaking. But if you want to be a short-term trader, then yes, you can kind of gamble on it. So he said something very interesting at point 2. He mentioned a certain crypto, and he said, I think it was Harman, that it has gone parabolic. So when the chart is showing basically the price shooting up like a rocket, they call that parabolic. But what he neglected to tell everybody, perhaps he didn't know, that anytime you see a price of any product or security go up parabolic, then it's going to return to where it started from. So sometimes retail or the average person see the price shooting up, they try to get onto the bandwagon, and then they kind of lose everything because the price comes down the other way just as quick, if not quick enough. But then there was the last price, value coin or whatever that V coin was that he mentioned. I only briefly looked at the chart. That chart did look more natural, that it had gone up in steps, so that showed there is some stability. But you have to really calculate what is driving the price up, because what I've seen with a lot of these cryptos that people don't know about, that it's traders, it's market makers, it's big buyers that push the price up like that in order to make some gains, and then when it reaches a certain threshold where they're going to make an X percentage or return on their purchases, they sell it just as quick, and the people that buy it later on then pretty much lose everything they have. I mean, when I say lose everything, they still own the digital currency. The problem is that there's never again the same amount of buyers to send the price back to what it was when they bought, and as a consequence they pretty much lost their money anyway.
I'm with you. So so these things can, these big players can actually manipulate these coins in order to pump and dump. They call them pump and dump, right? They pump the price up and then they just dump it.
Yeah, and something that I learned, that one of the ways or the reason why that happens is during the launch of the coin, the founders or the developers take out so much money in an IPO or in an ICO beforehand, and that money that they take out has to be counted like an account on the other side after it's launched. So if they're taking out too much, then on the other side is always going to be a deficit, and as a consequence, there's no balance to the price, and that price is kind of roiled up. So that's one of the issues, and it's all printed. They're all these cryptos can be bought and sold with other cryptos, and because a lot of them are no different, if not worse than fiat, you're essentially buying things that are even worse than the dollar or worse than any other fiat currency. That's the problem.
Interesting. How can someone buy one of these and keep themselves in a safe sort of position where they don't get as screwed over effectively?
There is no concrete way currently. There may be in the coming year or so, the coming months, but currently there is no solution. Everything is a gamble when it comes to crypto, and the least gamble, I would say, is Bitcoin. Don't worry about buying a whole Bitcoin if you can't afford 16,000, what the current price is. I think just buy a segment of it or a fraction of it and just build your position up over time. But first and foremost, learn how to download your Bitcoin onto a local drive or a local disk, because when issues happen with cryptos, it's the crypto exchanges that are fraudulently done something, and then your crypto and your money goes. You've got to buy it, then download it onto your machine. All
right, so take it off the exchanges, or at least know exactly how to get it off the exchange when shit goes south.
Correct.
Interesting indeed. Okay, the last one, and I'll be honest, I think I've already played this. Did we cover the subject of passport bros last week?
Yes, it's a good video.
Shit. So we played this already last week with this lady. Damn it, because I for the relationship sections, I had a thing about men going abroad looking for love in another country. But yeah, I did suspect, did I play this already? Okay, in that case, let me see if there is anything on this lady's channel that I can what's the best dating site? Oh, okay, there's a whole thing about dating sites, but I've already done a video. We did a show about dating apps and what to look for. Oh, damn it. Throw off a bridge and left to die. Nope. I don't see any other sort of men when Filipinos attack. What the hell? I'm sorry. Okay, here's a subject that might work out, especially since the World Cup is being played in Qatar. Polygamy versus monogamy. Now, when I say polygamy, I mean specifically the act of both the man and the woman being able to have multiple partners within a marriage or an open marriage situation or open relationship situation even, versus what a lot of people practice, which is polygamy. A lot of people practice polygamy, a lot of Middle Eastern countries, where the man is the only one able to have multiple wives, whilst the woman cannot have more than one husband. Whilst polygamy, which is the act of both men and the woman in the relationship having multiple partners. Given that scenario, is it, which one would you recommend, or which one would you consider versus monogamy?
Polygamy. yourself, you of all people have to answer that.
Well, I myself would only practice polygamy because polygamy is haram. Now, this is an interesting line of reasoning that Muslims use for polygamy, not polygamy, but the fact that only the man can have multiple partners is, number one, this is how it works. I would use this as my argument as well for polygamy, is that when a man takes on a woman for a wife and to have children, the man takes on the responsibility to raise those children. He takes the responsibility to be the provider, the protector, and the guide to raise these children in the best care possible. When a woman has children with multiple men, and she doesn't know who that father is, but there is this one individual who's the husband, so this is in a polygamous scenario, the man still has all the responsibilities of protecting and providing and raising those children that are not his own, whilst the woman is guaranteed to always have the children of her own genes. So her genes effectively and her legacy is always guaranteed to pass on, whilst the man's is not. Man could be raising someone else's children. So that is why men protect their women's access to other men far more harshly than women do, because for a woman, she's always guaranteed to pass on her legacy. For a man, it's not. And no man wants to raise another man's child. I mean, there are some altruistic simps out there who think that they want to raise another man's child because they love her so much. But any man worth his salt and with enough dignity and backbone wouldn't refuse to raise another man's child. I will only provide and protect my lineage, not some other random dude that you went and hooked up with. So that is my argument. And also
adoption?
The other, sorry?
What about adoption?
Adoption, I mean, that's again another very sort of nice altruistic act. But if a man literally has no other children of his own, usually men who agree to adopt is usually when they have, or quite often, either they have their own children or they are incapable of having children at all, and so they will compromise. It is a compromise for a man, certainly, and I would even say even for some women, but generally for men, certainly it's a compromise, because we are raising another man's lineage. I am allowing another man's seed.
But what about the thought process that you're kind of helping the child out, because they're either going to be brought up in a state-run, child, whatever the, social system, or you could provide, a roof, comfortable living, a good life, and so on and so forth. What isn't that kind of partly the thought process as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, as I say, you can have all sorts of altruistic tendencies. As human beings, we're much more complex, but I'm talking on your base level instincts, usually, because on a base level instincts, if you take a pride of lions, the male lion, it's his job to die to protect that pride. That is his sole job. He doesn't hunt. The women do the hunting. They bring the meat. He eats, and he eats first before the women do. But when the shit hits the fan, when another lion comes to take that pride, he will die to protect that pride. That is his job. That's everything. He gets all those privileges because he has to put his life on the line. But now we may, as humans, don't necessarily have to have that, but I'm saying on a psychological, on a base lizard brain level, it is our responsibility to die to protect this family. And would you die for another man's lineage, for another man's legacy? That's really what it really comes down to. Will you work yourself to death for another man's legacy? And that's where the base instincts come in. if you have your own children and you adopt another child from your, let's say, the village, the father is killed in a war, and we recognize we live in a village and we have to raise the whole of this, all the children in this village are our responsibility to raise. Now, men or kings or chiefs would usually do that, would adopt the children of the village, even if their fathers died in war, because they know that the whole village benefits from having these children raised well.
What if you grew to love that child? Would you then not?
Again, I'm addressing this from a very base level. There are multiple other emotional and complex thoughts behind all the other things that human beings take into account. So yes, you could raise another man's an orphan child and love him as much as your own to some extent, but it will never be your legacy. It will be another man's legacy. And on that base level of, will you die to protect this child? That's what it really comes down to, is, will you die for this child? Now, some human beings have managed to get there, but generally what I'm trying to say about polygamy is that, number one, a woman can only have one child, or at least in human species, can only have one child per 9 months, whilst a man can actually have 10, 100, 1,000 children in that 9 months. He could impregnate 1,000 women in that 9 months easily. So a woman can only dedicate herself to one, if twins or whatever, anomalies like twins and triplets, but that one pregnancy every 9 months, whilst a man can actually have multiple children in that time. So women's loyalty to that man is much more central than a man's loyalty to that woman in the sense of reproduction, because a woman has to make sure that that man is around and is going to provide security and your resources when the woman is at her most vulnerable, especially in her third trimester, where she's in a very, very vulnerable position. This is, again, going back to very basic caveman ideas, not modern day living. Obviously, a woman is not going to worry about a tiger jumping out and killing her in her third trimester in the middle of London. But our psychology still operates on a lot of that base level. And that's why polygamy can work, whilst polygamy very rarely works, because either the man is emotionally distant or isn't willing to allow himself to raise another man's child, or the woman tends to get actually emotionally involved with the other guy because women pair bond during sex, and so it's hard for a woman to. This is why they say virgin women. There's a thing that Pearl just quotes all the time. Something like about 70 or 80% of marriages are women are happier if they've been married as a virgin, and then that number drops to 25% if a woman's had over 5 lovers. So anything above 5 lovers, your woman is most likely not going to pair bond with you, and she's most likely not going to have a long-lasting marriage if your woman's had more than 5 lovers. Now I understand that for a long time I was so fucking simped and blue-pilled like an average feminist man in the Western world, where I was like, oh no, women, virgins, who wants a virgin? I'd rather have a dirty slut because they're just better in bed. But when I realized, if we're talking about children, this is why in the ancient world virgins were so revered. Virgins, still in the Middle East, they are, in a lot of countries, are still revered, and the virginity of and maidenhood of a woman is so paramount. Even if someone, there's even an episode, a series called the House of Dragons, and the maidenness of the princess was questioned, that she, had sex with some people and she wasn't a maiden, and they killed people over it. Anyone who questioned her honor, that's her honor. You would get killed if you, besmirched the honor of a good lady. So no, being a virgin is incredibly important to man and marriage and children. Whilst nowadays, women are just giving it out left, right, and center, and they try to convince men that it doesn't matter, that it shouldn't matter, that it's fine. I've only slept with like 20 guys. Come on. Who hasn't? Like, I'm sorry, love. You've been ran through. You're done. You're done out here. And these 30-year-old women who are hitting the walls, and they're all like, oh shit, they become born again virgins. They call them born again virgins. They hit the wall, and then when they meet a guy, they stop. They won't give him sex anymore. They gave sex to like 40 other guys the last 10 years between 20 to 29. And then they hit 30, and now he has to wait 5 months before I give it to him. Motherfucker, the last dude bought you a drink and you shagged him behind the chip shop. That was literally the last guy. And now I have to wait 5 months. Telling you fellas, go abroad. Europe is done out here. Just pump and dump. Anyway, Matty, I'm sorry. I go on about this shit too much.
That's all right. All right, you're not wrong, mate. There is definitely a lack of maidens, shall we say?
But the fucked up thing is, those women, those thoughts who've been ran through by the time they're 25, they still want a guy who's traditional. Oh, I need a guy who makes 100K. There's interviews being done all the time in the streets where the guy's asking, okay, if a man wants to marry you, how much should he be making minimum? And they're like, 100K, 80K. Oh, I want a millionaire. You just slept with the last 50 fucking blokes and posted it on TikTok. By the way, there are literally women who post their body counts on TikTok. Let me find this for you, and I'll show you what I mean. Hold on. I should have prepared this a bit better. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting this. Let me just give you a couple of examples of what I am talking about. Women who've put up lists of the men that they've slept with, like in the last however many months and years. Check this shit. Check this out. Look at this. What was that? That's her age, her weight, close friends. Was a body count 94. 94. Body count 88 to 92. By the age of 21, this one's 22. She's had 94 men by the age of 22. She's had between 88 and 92. She doesn't even know how many by the age of 21. This is the shit we're talking about. There we go. Kiss count 6. Oh, actually, she's body count 0. Okay, beginning of summer status.
But that looks like a very young woman. She's a woman.
Insta followers, TikTok followers, blah blah blah. But yeah, I mean these are basically all over Instagram, where women put up their body counts. I've actually there was a whole bunch of other ones I had that were even more severe than those two.
Why are they doing this? Why were they advertising this rubbish? This is disgraceful.
Advertise. Yeah, it became a TikTok trend to tell how many men you've slept with on TikTok, and it just became a thing where women started putting up their body counts.
What?
And yeah, it just became a. Hold on, let me see if I can find the next ones. I don't know. The thing was, I found a whole bunch, and then I suddenly, weirdly, I can't seem to find much again, which is quite unusual. Maybe TikTok started taking them off, because I had loads when I first searched for this shit, and now on Google I can't fucking find any. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm struggling. But anyway, that was an example. But there's loads of these. And yeah, it's all over the place, dude. It's all over the place. Women, by their early 20s, they're in the top sort of 100 or top 50 body counts, and they want a man who has £1 million and wants to take him as a bride. It's like, why? Why should I? When Andrew Tate says, I don't want a woman that's 25 anymore because of this, because he knows by 25, they've had over 100 men that have been ran through. They've got all sorts of psychological fucking problems. They've got all sorts of baggage. Some of them even have children. Look at the thought, the Z thought that we know from Speaker's Corner. And they expect a guy who's practically a millionaire or exceedingly high earner in the top 10, 15% of men. This is Pearl says. These are Robin Reliance or Ford Escorts asking BMW prices.
That's coming from Pearl, who's a rickshaw herself.
That comes from Pearl.
Yeah, who's a rickshaw.
Well, no, actually, I don't know. I don't know her body count. I'll be honest. I don't know. She could be, only in the single digits. I can't say for Pearl, but she is. But the thing is, Pearl considers herself like a 5. She doesn't see herself above a 5.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what a woman considers herself as. It's what the men consider them that counts.
Yeah, but what I mean is, if you ask her, there's a woman on one of her shows. She's fatter than me, dude. She is a big girl, and they ask her, "What do you rate yourself?" She's like, "I'm a 10." Well, no, she didn't say a 10. Actually, she was humble enough to say she's a 9. I was like, "You're a 9? On what fucking planet?" Is this in a pot of orcas? What are we talking about here? So yeah, I mean, some of these women are so delusional; they just don't have a clue where they fall in the rankings. But that's why Pearl says, you're basically a Ford Escort asking to be sold at BMW prices.
Are you dating Pearl?
No. Pearl wouldn't touch me with a fucking barge pole. She's only 26. She's not old. She's quite young. And also
you're not old either.
Well, I'm considerably older than her. But she's also what's the thing? She's like 6 foot nearly, and most women who are 5'6".
I thought you liked them leggy.
No, it doesn't matter whether I like them leggy. Women, especially tall women, want a man taller than themselves. They want like a 6'4", 6'5" guy. And I suspect Pearl likes the Afro-Caribbean models. She's into I would suspect into that category of men. So I don't stand a chance racially, physically, financially, height. There's a lot of negatives. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think I would. I mean, let's be honest. I've smashed so many horrific monsters in my time that really I would be lying to say I wouldn't smash. I would smash. I mean, there are men in certain lightings and dresses that I've taken a double take on. I'm joking. But what I'm saying is there has been monsters that I have smashed. So, given my past record,
how bad?
How bad?
How bad have these monsters been?
Oh, dude, you don't even want to fucking contemplate.
Give us someone famous that's the equivalent of it.
Someone famous that's the equivalent of it. Okay, as far as being a fat, yeah, I'll bang women Lizzo size easy.
What size?
Easily, Lizzo. You know the Lizzo artist, music artist. Oh, for fuck's sake, dude! You don't know Lizzo? Yeah, what am I supposed to do with you, Manny? You don't know Lizzo? How are you supposed to be a pop culture commentator and you don't know Lizzo?
I didn't know I was.
Yes, you are. You're a pop culture commentator. We look at pop culture shit, and you commentate. And if you wish to remain in this realm of pop culturism, you have to join the club. There you go. Yeah, I've banged women that big, to my shame, to my horror. Actually, yeah, I would say about that big, maybe a bit bigger. I don't know. She looks kind of tall. Maybe she isn't, but yeah. Basically, this is Lizzo. She's the darling of wokeism right now. This is all body positivity and shit. I just woke up with PTSD the next day. There was nothing positive about my experience, I tell you. She may have body positivity, but there was nothing positive about my fucking experience. I woke up in horror and shame. Just put my head down, got my clothes, and went. Never to speak of it again. I was supposed to take that one to the grave. I've now exposed too much. But yeah, I've been low in my time. My life has some years have been dry, or months. But yeah, that's happened. But then on the flip side, I almost got married to an Instagram model, and next time where I see you, Manny, I'll show you her pictures on Instagram. And I can't do it on this.
And you've kept this from me before for what reason?
I don't know, because dude, she's an Instagram model who goes to Dubai, if you know what I mean. I dodged the bullet on that one, believe me. Her body count is a little bit more than the ones you saw on that film, on those pictures. And possibly porta potty too. I don't know. But yeah, she spends a lot of time in Dubai. And she has over 1.5 million followers on Insta. She's a full-on model. We're talking Louis Vuitton, Chanel, private airplanes. I mean, obviously, I met her long before she was anywhere near Instagram, but she eventually found her way through some hooks and crooks onto Instagram, and the guys, just some agency or company or whatever took her on. I mean, she's gorgeous. She is very gorgeous. If I show you her pictures, you'll be like, holy shit, you were almost married to that. But unfortunately, something inside told me this is a wrong one. Something inside said it's going to end in divorce. It's going to be bad. And I think it would have. If I know nothing, I'm sure it would have. Because once she found herself in the sort of famous, hobnobbing with all the sheikhs and the millionaires and the billionaires, there's no way I could compete with that shit. I'm not even close to a private jet. So yes. Oh, we have Sia live. There are men that like that body. Most important, she likes that body. Yeah, no men really like that body. Men who like that body don't get any other bodies.
There are men that like big girls. That's not
curvaceous. This is the problem.
No. There's some men that like big women, and there's some men that don't mind either way.
I know chubby chasers. Don't get me wrong. I worked with a guy who was in one of the companies I worked with. He was in the accounts department, and he asked me, "Come on, dude, let's go to this." First of all, he told me about a site called bbws.co.uk.com, something like that. And at that time, I didn't even know what the fuck a BBW was. We're talking 2008. And then he asked me, dragged me effectively to this chubby chasers party. Effectively, it's a party that BBWs hold. And I'll be honest, in my wildest dreams, I never thought these women were that big. I thought, okay, these are some women who are just a little bit, big and chubby and all that. Holy shit. When I went there, one of them was driving a Land Rover. I'm talking a fucking Land Rover which is a giant car as it is, and she couldn't bring herself close enough to the steering wheel. She was steering the steering wheels with the tips of her fingers. I'm not joking. She was holding on to the fucking steering wheel with the tips of her fingers. And I was like, she can't get close enough to get a grip on the fucking steering wheel. They were unbelievably large. As I say, anything, I mean, even Lizzo would be sort of mid-range in that scene. We're talking women who've had, have you seen those women who their triceps is so fat it folds over their elbow? It's like trial elbow. It was that kind of level. Their ankles and their calves are basically molded into one. It's a cankle. It's no longer. It's what I couldn't fucking believe it. And of course, they have what they call a gunt. It's when the gut and the vaginal parts merge into one. It becomes a gunt. It was horrific. I was like, what do you bring me to this shit for? This is a house of monsters. And I have to give it to them. A lot of them are like 6 foot. These women were big and tall and just ginormous. Holy shit. That was a hell of a night. I should have recorded it. But this was before smartphones had decent cameras. Yeah, it was an experience. Never again. But as I said, Manny, yes, I've been low. There's been times where things have been really bad.
I just want to tell everybody. So when me and Banksy go out for a drink and a chinwag, this is exactly. I had actually forgotten that I was on a live stream for a few moments then, but this is exactly what it's like. You ask Banksy a question and then Banksy just goes 10 minutes and it's just pure entertainment. You can't help but listen to what he says. But I reckon, look, Christmas is coming up, even if it's not for Christmas. Anybody that wants to meet up for a drink and we can verify you're not some kind of psychopath killer. I reckon we could arrange a kind of a bro or date or whatever, because Banksy is very entertaining when he's out. It's definitely should be on one of those cards. Like you can arrange a day out for your loved one, like buy them a day out to drive a Ferrari or all that stuff. You should be on there. Like go out for a drinking session with Banksy and just. Oh. You won't need to say anything for 10 hours straight. Banksy will talk. Vegas.
Definitely. We got to do, I swear, if you can arrange it, you, me, a couple of the other guys, Vegas, do a Vegas trip. That should
we could do.
That would be
awesome. Live stream the whole damn thing.
Yeah, man. I swear. If we could,
have to keep the cameras outside the hotel.
Oh my God. Vegas stream. That would be insane. I'm up for that.
Let's do it. All right.
Yeah.
So it's possible next year, though, if you think about it.
Exactly. To celebrate.
All right.
Anyway,
on that note, let's leave it there.
Last thoughts.
Last thoughts is anybody that pushed that certain agenda over 2020, 2021 needs to be locked up. They need to be tried, and they need to be prosecuted. Everyone from members of government right down to those doctors and nurses, they all have to go.
Yes. And if you are one of those crazy activist morons who literally attacked and accosted people who didn't wear masks or didn't want to get the jib jab, and you were literally screaming at them, people like Piers Morgan, you self-righteous piece of dog turd, none of you deserve any quarter from us. I mean, I'll be honest, I took the jib jab, but I never pushed it on anyone. I never forced it on anyone. I literally told people, do what you feel is the best course of action for you and your loved ones, and that is all. You're grown adults and you should make these decisions as a grown adult, and you should be treated like an adult. And if anyone screams at you and swears at you and tries to belittle you because you didn't want to do it, because you didn't want to follow the herd, then that's fine. That's fine. You did it because you wanted to be an independent individual. But of course, I do insist that if you make those independent decisions, you live with those consequences as well. You don't come and bitch about the consequences, but you make your decisions as a grown adult.
Mm-hmm.
And those who accosted you for it, like Piers Morgan and other assholes like that, they can all go to hell. I think they should. They're not worth your spit. That's how I see it. These are disgusting individuals who, by the way, have never really apologized for any of the shit that they said and did. All those people who said vaccinated people are not should be banned, unvaccinated should be banned from going to the hospitals, should be banned from this, should be banned from that. You can't go to supermarkets, you can't go to restaurants. All of those people. Justin Trudeau, that sack of dog shit, should be wallowing in prison right now for the shit that he's pulled in America, in Canada, for the fact that he's took a giant dump on the Canadian Constitution. That man is more of a dictator than any of the Mussolinis and the Hitlers that you guys want to point out there. But nobody wants to acknowledge the kind of dictatorial attitude that asshole has. I swear to God, I wouldn't piss on him if it was on fire. And I'm not even a Canadian. I don't even have a dog in that fucking race. But the mere fact that he's treated Canadians the way he has, and the Australians and the New Zealand people as well, that godforsaken dog shit woman who runs New Zealand. And these people get reelected. They get fucking reelected too. They don't even suffer the repercussions and the consequences at the polling. It's like at the polling station, they don't even get punished. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Can I just plug a show in that on Friday I'm going to be doing a demon Satanist special where I'm not only going to be pointing out why eating bugs and cockroaches like Steve Atheist, aka Steve of Southall, does and did. I'll be reading a passage from the Bible confirming that he is a demonic entity for doing so, or satanic entity. And I'm going to invite George, Open Your Eyes UK. Perhaps we can go through some of his research. And maybe if you want to come on, Banksy, we'd like to do an exorcism on you.
Unfortunately, I won't. I'll be out. My friends coming over, and we're going to be out and about in London. Yeah, I have some. Yeah, occasionally.
Fair enough, dude. All right, when you're drunk and you get home and we're still on, perhaps you can jump on.
Yeah. Maybe I'll stream it from the restaurant.
Have a good time, mate. You have a good time.
No worries. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Do go to Speakers Corner Online and sign up for an account if you don't have one already. That's where the juicy hot takes are most likely going to be, and Manny goes full Alex Jones on your ass on Speakers Corner Online. Like and subscribe this channel and share, and also check out Speakers Corner 2, which is Manny's primary sort of arena. And yeah, generally, guys, thank you for coming. Have a wonderful evening. Don't trust your government. Peace. All right, what the fuck are we doing now? Gonna have to outro this bitch.
Justice is indivisible. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
If any words that I have spoken have commanded attention, that is only because they find an echo in the breasts of those of every land and of every race who love freedom and are the foes of tyranny.
You are not our queens. You are not our kings. You are not our gods. We do not belong to you. We are not your slaves. We stand as free humans, have stood since the beginning of time against the strong men.